Who's not
you.
going to be named in this podcast.
Oh my god, I knew she was gonna bring this
We're
up.
not gonna bring this up.
That
We're
got
leaving this to
knocked over
2024.
on the sofa and
No,
dropped
it didn't get knocked over.
It didn't get
It was a
knocked
fully
over.
white sofa, white carpet. He jumped over the couch because he just wanted to not go around like a civilian, like a regular civilian, and he dropped the whole
You know what?
red
I'm not
inky
gonna say who
inky
did it.
pomegranate. Not me. It was
what? It was not me
somebody
either.
who
It was
starts with a
not
B.
me. It was
Somebody
not
who starts with a
me.
B.
No, who
Starts
was
with
it?
B.
Who was it?
Oh, bro.
Hello, Namaste, Zarna Garg here with the Zarna Garg Family Show. I'm so excited. All 5 Gargs are in the house and you're not going to want to miss this episode. Let's get right into it. My husband of 25 years, Shalab Garg, Wall Street veteran. My daughter, who's a senior in college, Zoya. My son, who's a freshman in college, Bridge. And my middle school boy, Veer Garg. We are all in the house and we are going to get right into it. On top of everybody's mind is health and fitness and what we are all doing this year to get healthier and fitter. What are we eating? What are we drinking? How are we working out? What are the things that didn't work? Are we believing in protein shakes or are we down with protein shakes? Who wants to take a first shot at it? Let's go.
Okay,
So we're different age and different sexes, all of us. So I don't think the rules that apply to a 50-year-old man are the same rules that apply to a 22-year-old girl or a 50-year-old woman. Do we agree with all of that?
yes.
Okay. All right. So we do have to talk about intermittent fasting. We can get to it later, but we do have to talk about it. We cannot not talk
just-
about intermittent fasting.
Dad, why
because
don't
it
you
is a
dive
really-
in now? Because I know you're frothing at the mouth to get into intermittent fasting. So why don't
I mean,
you
it is really, really important that people my age in particular, and my ethnicity, if I might add, which is, a bad ethnicity to have, the Indian background, given that we all
What?
know. I mean, we all know how Indian men suffer with
He
cardiac.
means the genetics. He doesn't mean the overall.
Oh, sorry, I
ethnicity.
should
He
have said
means like
genetics. The Indian
the
genetics.
genetics that we have the complicated genetics.
Complicated genetics, and my son, who's my older son, is now not that far from 50 himself. In a few years, he will have to
What?
deal with it as well.
What?
I mean, a few
I'm very
decades.
far
Sorry.
from 50.
But I'm just saying that the Indian genetics are not the best genetics, and in my opinion, the CEO of a major pharmaceutical company, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies of the world. In fact, I should be able to name the pharmaceutical company, right?
Okay.
Novartis. And
Okay, what did he say?
He's an
We don't
Indian
care
man.
how big
He's
he
an
is.
Indian
What did he
genetic
say?
man, and he sells pharmaceuticals for a living. And he talked about it a few years ago, and that's what got me started onto it. And I really believe an Indian man of my 40 and up should not be eating more than once a day. Eat about 4 to 5 hours a day, and for the rest of the time, drink water, hydrate yourself, have black coffee. In fact, I'm having a black coffee right now.
Good job, Dad. Good job.
And I really, really believe, and I've been on it for 5 years. It's not a fad. I don't want you to think that, oh, you're going to do it for 10 days and then in the 11th day, go back to eating another way. I've been on it for 5 years. And I truly believe it is the single most important thing a 40 plus human being, male, female, or recognize, even though in our country now we cannot recognize any other way. In the new law, it's man or woman. So as male or female, you can recognize a way of living, which is to eat 4 to 5 hours. And in those 4 to 5 hours, eat whatever the F you want.
That's
Wherever you
not
want.
true. Shalab, that is not. That's just
That's not the
not.
concept behind intermittent fasting.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to
Also,
say.
I have a
Every
question.
doctor
How
in
much water
America
do you
is
drink,
watching
Dad?
this and
How
like
much
taking
water
a
do you
deep
drink?
sigh.
I generally have 3 gallons of water.
No, you
Okay.
don't. That's a lie. That's
Okay,
a
not
lie.
3 gallons. 3 large bottles of water. I don't know how many gallons that is.
That's actually pretty good. Because
It
you
must
have to know
it must
that
be 1.3
coffee-
liters each. So it must be. So you're right, Veer. So it must be about between 1 to 1.5 gallons of water.
Okay,
Do you
wait.
have a
I
water
want to bring
bottle,
up
or
one
how
point.
do you?
Hold
I
on.
keep a water
Why
bottle
are
next
we?
to me.
Why
Yeah.
are guys? Why are we quantifying Dad's health metrics right now? This is not okay. I want to pivot this conversation. I think one of the most interesting points that Dad brought up is the reason why he decided to pursue this intermittent fasting was on the basis of the credibility of this pharmaceutical head. And given the fact that Bridge in the last episode was talking about how wellness people can often take advantage of people who are consuming their content, right? Because ultimately they're trying to drive revenue to their own services, businesses, thoughts. What was it, Dad, about this guy that made you trust him? He's not a doctor. I know he's a pharmaceutical. Is it the fact that
Actually, he is a
pharmaceutical
doctor
head?
too. He is a doctor too.
He is a medical,
medical
doctor. So
doctor.
did that
He's a-
hold weight?
he
in
went to
your
Harvard.
decision?
So he went to
Okay,
Harvard.
so
He's
it
a
was the
medical
fact that
doctor.
he went
I
to
don't know.
Harvard.
I don't know if he went I don't know if he went from medical school to Harvard, but he's college at Harvard, and he's
Yeah.
a CEO, and He has 3 kids, just like I do. He's
Okay,
about
I
to.
don't know why we're talking about this guy. Like, fine, you believe in
Zoya
intermittent
asked me.
fasting. Yeah, okay.
No, but
Yeah.
mom, no, I think this is actually relevant because I think for what dad is saying is he identifies with this man in like in a father way, in a credibility stance, in an education stance. And I think when it comes to what wellness tricks and habits we actually follow of other people's, we commonly do what people who we identify with tell us to do. Right? Like, for example, I love following young girls who do all sorts of wellness related, like the
Who's somebody you like to follow? I would like to know.
I don't know anybody personally, but like anybody who's talking about gut health, I'm like, yes, sign me up. Like anybody who's like, you need to
What
go
is
in the
gut
sun
health?
more. There's all this new theory that your mind and brain is connected to the actual gut. So recently there was a study done where somebody took a gut particle of a person, of a human being, and placed it into another human being. The original human being was an ambitious, hardworking type A person. The second human being was a slob. They then put that particle into the second human being, and within a few weeks, that particle had started developing gut health that was of the same caliber of the first person, and then all of a sudden their personality drastically changed.
So if I take Elon Musk's gut particle, I can found a company like Tesla. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but what I will say is there's a lot of evidence to suggest that your gut health is what actually informs your brain health. So I've been really leaning into that, and the ways I lean into that is I do drink a lot of water. I try my best to drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of hot water. Hot water is, very underrated. It makes me feel really like taken care of. Yeah.
Bridge, you're nodding your head. Why are you nodding your head?
I mean, I say this every time we talk about similar stuff. It's just you guys are all falling for stupid crap that you should not be falling for, because in reality, your gut health is not going to determine your brain state. And if you keep researching all these things about how to put mushrooms in your belly so that it grows like some bacteria to help your gut, which then makes you work hard in life, like it's just there's two ways to look at this. And actually, this is a little bit of a sidetrack. Me and my roommate talk a lot about this in college because so many people try so many different things to make them work hard. That is a big thing in America right now. Like, what can I do? And somehow me doing this will biologically, scientifically make me work hard. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
It might be a thing in some sort of crazy scientific experiment, but there's either one way to do it. You either work hard or you don't. I hate this whole, like, if I do this one thing, if I eat this mushroom, if I smoke this thing, I'm going to be a hard worker. I'll be disciplined. Like, you either are or you aren't. If you want to be disciplined, then wake up for an hour, do something you hate. If you want to be disciplined, go.
So
in the
you
field
actually
that you
believe
don't
it's
want to do.
genetic, Bridge?
I think it's
someone
partly
wanted to.
genetic. I think that people are born in a hard work state. I think it's a little bit of desperateness too. I think when people are put in situations and where they're desperate and need to do something, like there is no other choice. Like you're back against the wall. Kind of how Mom started her comedy career, where like she had no choice but to do it. It forces you to work as hard as possible, right? So if you're not born with it necessarily, you might develop it through something like that. But I'm so against all these like new studies and study culture where, oh, I already studied this as this. I already studied this as this. Now because of Google and ChatGPT, everyone is reading studies. There's a study for every single thing in the world right now. I don't know where they're getting the money for all these studies. There's studies for everything. Every single thing.
And there's also so much fraud in academia as well, because the entire incentive system is who can get the most things published. So a lot of
that
academics.
was the big revelation that all those Harvard studies about sugar were funded by the sugar industry.
Is that true? I did not know that.
Yeah. They were, but I mean, none of this should surprise us. I mean, you are the most like nitpicky about what you put in your body and what you put on your body and all.
I don't know if
Stop
that's
the
true.
cap. That's not true.
It is true. What are you talking about?
Ice cream.
No.
You want like a 30.
No, chill.
Ice cream. Like toppings.
No,
like
I
chocolate syrup.
was.
What are you talking
I
about?
literally, yesterday, 3 days in a row, I cooked 100% grass-fed, whatever, organic, 100% steak.
Yes.
So
And
what?
I eat 0% Greek fat yogurt, berries, raw honey. No,
But it
that
was
was
steak.
a long time ago.
It was steak nonetheless. 3 days consecutively. Probably not the
Steak?
best thing.
Oh my god, I hate when people say this.
Really?
Steak is healthy. Red meat is
Really?
healthy. I do not believe all this like random more studies about red meat raises your cholesterol. It's not true. Red meat is healthy. And I don't like eggs, but eggs are healthy too.
Okay, guys,
So Veer, can you expand a little bit more on that, especially for the education of your mother as to why you think red meat is healthy and human beings
Red
should be
meat,
eating.
red meat is the
Because
best
I've been
source
saying
of.
it for many years, and your
But
mother
I'm
just
vegetarian. What do you want me to
no,
do?
no,
I
no,
don't
for my
eat
own
red meat.
self, right? You always. I'm not saying you should eat it.
But then why are you educating me about it?
Oh, because you argue against how I
No,
should
because
not be eating so much
I
red
you
don't
meat.
always
say
say.
anything to you. Eat as much as you want. I'm like, just make sure your insurance is paid.
No, I'm saying no, but
Wow.
to us, you always say, don't eat so much red meat. Have another
No,
source of.
I'm no. Hold on. I'm saying eat red meat, but eat lots of vegetables and fiber on the side. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm always giving you guys bowls and bowls of steamed vegetables. Very simple. In fact, I don't agree with the Indian way of cooking at all, where you beat the vegetable to pulp and put so much masala. I think lightly steamed vegetables, you preserve the nutrition of it and you eat that. And, I'm totally down with that. But I don't mind that you eat red meat. But I myself personally am a vegetarian, and your dad
Yeah.
keeps insisting
I,
on educating me about it.
I don't want to be a broken record. I don't want to be a broken record. There's two things that I actually do believe in that are just very common beliefs, but I think are relevant to this episode. One, I do think as much as you can, autopiloting a meal or
Yes.
two is super valuable.
Hmm.
So I eat the
What does
exact
that mean,
same,
Rizaya?
as in you tend to eat similar things every day. So like
Oh,
Greek yogurt every day, or eggs every day, or
Yeah.
some version of grilled chicken and whatever. I think that is super helpful. And then in conjunction with that, I think it's important to do everything in moderation. For example, I think, especially as an RA, I've gotten the opportunity to be an RA in my sorority house this year, which is an all-female living house in my college. And I was trained in how to identify like eating disorders, bad relationships with food. And since I'm like one of the young girls on this episode, I think it's relevant to bring it up that so many women who are young have suffered from varying forms of eating disorders. And I see it in our house every day. I would say it's the number one mental health conflict that I, as an RA, have to work with my residents over. And so I think as much as it's so important to like eat within healthy bounds and portions, actually making sure that if you're craving a croissant, you indulge in like half a croissant in that one moment instead of binging at some point at night, like huge amounts of dessert because you just have been starving yourself of it for so long is so important.
I
It's
I
so
second that.
important. No,
I second
you,
that.
no, here's the,
Let me
No.
get
no,
the
bro.
croissant right now. Let me get it right now. Yes, I agree with this.
Zara, why don't you talk about how it is as a vegetarian to accomplish all these
Oh
things
my God.
in
See,
America, vegetarian in America?
I think vegetarian anywhere is hard, to be honest with you, but America is not set up for a vegetarian healthy life. And especially for my kind of life where I'm on the road constantly, because I will meet people who will be like, but just make it at home. I'm not home 4 days of the week. I'm in and out of hotels, I'm in and out of airplanes. You have to make do with what you get. Like,
But
and
even when you were home, it was really hard, right? So this only
it is
compounds.
it is hard, bar none. I think vegetarian protein, I'm still confused. I want to autopilot, I want to do what Zoya is suggesting, but I feel like every option, first of all, is sweet. Everybody will say do a protein powder, sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yeah,
Do
I hate
yogurt,
protein powder too.
sweet,
I
sweet,
hate,
sweet.
yeah.
Everything is sweet. Like your whole palate, it's like it's doused in some form of sugary taste, which I, as much as I like a bite of dessert, I actually don't like my mouth being so sweet
So
constantly.
true. Wait, can I
And
just side note the sweets thing? This is so unrelated to this episode, but I just want to put this out into the world. If you are good at baking right now and
mhm,
you like to bake, this is your time to open a bakery. There was this
yes.
amazing New York Times article about the golden age of bakeries. I was going for a walk before this episode because I always have to clear my head before we fight. Because obviously all of our podcast episodes dissolve into fighting, and I'm usually on the opposing side. However, I saw this bakery that was tiny, like it was like maybe like a 300-foot by like 700-foot like square feet. Like it was just very small, and there was a little kiln, and they had baked all these croissants um, in advance. There was a line around the block. It was 8
Yeah.
a.m.
People
There was a
want to
line
eat
around.
sugar. There's
People,
just
no, but people want to eat. I think
yeah.
it's a few things. I think in the world of sober curiosity and people who are
Uh,
enjoying missing out, they like to make their social outing surrounded by like the highest quality form of like dessert they can find in their neighborhood. And I think that's a new trend I'm noticing. And I would love to know what podcast viewers are thinking and feeling. But every bakery that's local and has high quality pastries, I just see them all doing so well.
Rich, again,
So
you're nodding your head. Why are you nodding your head?
Huh? I'm not nodding my head this time.
I saw
listening.
you doing that. I saw you.
I'm just,
why
Yeah,
are
I
you
did see
always
you doing that. Why were
patrolling
you doing
Bridge?
that?
I'm
No, I
watching.
saw him doing that too. He was making it very
I'm
clear.
trying to see what their
Yeah.
reactions are to what you're saying.
I have no reaction to
Like
this.
the
I'm just
question,
like,
what's making me think this is this a girl trend, the bakery thing, or do boys also go to these things? Like, is it just a girl only thing? I do think that the bagel shops are everybody, men and women.
Yeah, bagel
But I'm not
shops.
sure about the croissants and the sweet desserts and all. I kind of feel like that's more like a girl hangout.
I think it's like I think it's more of a girl hangout. I agree with you. It definitely feels more feminine, but I will say I saw so many men in that line too who were with their friends and wanting to get a coffee and a pastry and just wanted to feel like they elevated their morning with something comfortable and exciting. It's just I just find it so fascinating. I find the whole
Okay,
thing
if
so
we had
fascinating.
to make one healthy sandwich for each of us.
No, I hate this question. I don't eat sandwiches.
Okay,
You've
all
been
right.
saying this.
Okay,
No,
so no, I'm
No,
not.
she does say stuff like this a lot. She does say stuff like this a
But
lot.
I'm the mom. I'm in charge of cooking for a lot of you guys. I'm asking if I could make one healthy sandwich for you that
Why do
you
you hate
like.
sandwiches? So actually, just out of curiosity.
Why is it always sandwiches specifically?
it's always sandwiches.
I
But
swear, I've
okay,
heard
then
this question
make,
like a
all
million
right,
times.
fine. If I could make one meal for you, one thing, what would you like me to make? What would it be that if this was ready and cooked and in the house, I would be so happy?
I know what it is. Something
I know what it
simple,
is, too.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I love a fresh batch of Bonza chickpea pasta with tomato sauce that doesn't like, just like a traditional no sugar tomato sauce
Yeah.
and a little bit of red chili flakes.
Okay.
That's my go-to comfort healthy meal.
For me, it is the omelet, the vegetable omelet that I almost have it every second day that you make, and it's amazing. The beautiful, it's filled with vegetables. It's green and it has 2 eggs in it, and I have it either with a toast with ghee. Ghee is something I want to talk about. I think ghee is something that every human being should embrace and eat, especially it's like a clarified butter, comes out of India. I think it's a really, really good source of fat and protein that you can have with
Yeah.
your meal. I don't know why people talk about it poorly in India. It's just a fantastic thing to have, as
Well,
opposed to
because
having
people
it.
eat the entire container, I think.
No, I don't know if they'd eat the entire container or not, but I just think
so
they
we're
think of it
just so
as
we're like aware. Ghee is like not better than butter at all. At all.
Yes, it is.
it is.
No, it
It's
is.
clarified
It
butter.
is
It
better.
is. It's much better than
They're
butter.
both extremely high in saturated fats. The only difference
Yeah,
between ghee and
but
butter
ghee is
that ghee doesn't have
natural.
milk in it.
Yeah, ghee is natural.
Ghee
It's
is not made out
saturated
of.
fats.
Yes, but it is
regardless-
natural.
high fat. Like they're both something you should
But
not eat a lot of. You should
Fruits
eat
fruits
them
have
very
sugar.
low
Fruits
amount.
have sugar and candy
That's
has sugar.
natural
There's a
sugar. That's
difference
a lot
between those
different
two
than
too.
saturated fats.
Exactly, it's
It's like
natural
80%.
saturated fats.
Bro, saturated fats and natural sugar are two completely separate different things. Natural sugar.
No, they're not.
That's not what
Bro.
I'm saying. I'm
Yeah,
saying that
that's not
sugar
what
and
Why don't you look at
processed and
articles right now? Since
unprocessed sugar
everyone's
is
like the
different.
master of
So
studies and
processed.
articles, I'll look up a study right now. And we'll see
Okay,
what it
can we
says.
not
Go
be on
ahead.
such a
Okay. This is now like. Okay, I was just gonna say I love my omelet with a toast and ghee on it. I have it every second day. It's very filling as part of my 4-hour eating window. And Veer,
Okay.
you're next.
Veer or
Okay.
Bridge? Who wants to go next?
No, I'm going next.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what I do, I have 2 meals that I have on autopilot. One is for game day. I'm gonna save that one for later in the episode, and I have one that I just make. So I go get frozen strawberries and frozen wild blueberries. Those two specifically, because I don't like it when they're from like when they're just kept in the fridge. I want the frozen ones, like the cold, icy ones. And then I get some non-fat Greek yogurt. I put it in a bowl. I microwave the berries to make them heated because I'm not gonna wait for them to thaw. I put them in the bowl with the Greek yogurt, and I drizzle some honey on top. It's tons of protein, tons of sweetness. It's everything I love, and it also works because if I'm ever craving candy, I can just make some strawberries with drizzled honey. So
But isn't it too cold? I mean, it sounds really cold.
Mom, I think
Yeah,
you're
but-
low iron.
What?
Because you're always cold, and I think that's low iron.
No, I'm not low anything.
I
I'm
mean,
just
you're gonna diagnose your mother now, sitting on
No,
the
I've
bed.
just noticed it. I've just noticed it. She's just always cold, and I'm
I
pretty sure
am
there's a
always
condition for
cold, but
that.
okay. All right, Bridge, what's your favorite?
Favorite like go-to meal?
Yeah, like a meal that if we kept it ready for you, you would be happy. So happy.
Honestly, I really am not picky. I'll eat pretty much anything. Like if I just see it and it looks good, I'll eat it. I don't really care. Like I'm not someone who thinks that like consistency is some sort of key
So
factor in
do you
anything.
think
Just eat
about food
anything.
all day long?
No.
I
I'm also
do.
at college. It's not like I have to make my own food. Like I just walk into the dining hall
Yeah.
and then choose whatever I want. And eat
No,
it.
that's okay. But a lot of people, me for sure, all day long, I'm thinking about food. What am I gonna eat? When am I gonna eat it? Where am I gonna eat it? It's a real thing. Food noise is a real thing, but you don't experience it. Is what I'm asking. How about you, Veer? Do you experience food noise?
I usually like I have the same thing every morning before school. I get the same thing after school or during out lunch with my friends. So it's just like that last meal, which I usually go out, get food, make food, whatever. So it's not
Okay.
really.
How about you, Zoya? Do you experience food noise?
I feel like I have a lot of autopiloted meals, so I don't. Like, I think the only way for example, I eat a lot. I'm like a Sweet Green at Loyalty member or whatever. I have the Sweet Pass because I eat Sweet Green so frequently. Like, I eat a lot of Sweet Green. I eat a lot of that Joe and the Juice tuna cotto. Like, I have a lot of like staples at really common like cafes and chain places that are healthy and have great macronutrients, so that anywhere I am, I know where I can get a meal that will satiate me and also will, what's it called, be healthy. I think the hardest part about meals for me is when you and I are on the road. Like if I'm going to a comedy show with you, or we're doing an event, or we're doing this, like when your schedule is essentially not in your own hands, it is so hard to feed yourself properly. Like Veer, Bridge, and I have gotten into so many late night arguments because no restaurants were open and I was hungry and they didn't
Yeah.
really plan.
Oh my god.
And so
I wish I was there for that episode.
and so I just, it's just generally an issue when you're on the road. So like working moms and people who are traveling a lot for work, I have a lot of sympathy for, because
Yeah.
it's just really
I have a
challenging.
big
Like
one.
I haven't come up with a solution.
What, Bridge?
This
What is
is a
that?
vitamin gummy. It's a vitamin C gummy.
Oh my god.
I think that
Are
everyone
those
should
the
take
Flintstone
vitamin
gummies?
No, bro, they're not.
What does that
Flintstone
do,
gummies.
Bridge?
Does that got CBD in it and drugs in it?
No, it has vitamin C in it. That's it.
Oh, I'm
It's
gonna have
just
to
a vitamin
inspect
C
that.
gummy.
Yeah, facts. We need to get
That's
you
kinda
on
sus.
this.
Do you want to see the
Yeah,
cover?
facts.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh.
vitamin C,
Oh,
CVS.
okay.
Go to your local pharmacy, get vitamin C gummies.
Oh,
Everyone
it's
in
not
black is vitamin
prescription.
C.
It's
What?
for
What?
it's just
Are
off
no
the
one-
shelf.
Have you
Bridge.
just
No
did you
one
just
eats-
buy them and eat
no
them?
one, no one eats oranges anymore.
I feel like
No one
vitamin
We
D
eat
is
so many
more.
oranges.
I just ate. I
What
ate 3
are you
oranges
talking
this
about?
morning.
We
We
eat
eat
so,
oranges
we
as a
spend-
family.
Yeah.
We eat oranges as a family. But first of all, at college,
Yeah,
I
at
never eat
college.
oranges, and
Yeah,
most
yeah.
families don't even eat oranges when they're not at college. That's not
No.
that's not like an often thing. that
Oranges
people
are a
do.
luxury because you have to basically have the time to peel the orange as well as store it properly.
Yeah.
Fruit in general is such a luxury. Every time I go
Yeah.
home, I'm so grateful whenever I go home because mom always stocks like the best fruit, and it is such a luxury to have like, oh my god, anar, which is like Hindi for pomegranate.
Peeled every day. We
Oh,
peel pomegranates for
wait,
you
I
guys.
would literally do anything for a pomegranate.
Do you
right now.
know during the holidays
Oh,
when
God.
you guys were home, we were peeling 6 a day. 6
Bruh.
pomegranates
Yeah, and we
a
ate
day.
all of them. We finished every
And
single
at
one.
the end of the day, they would all be gone. And sometimes
Do you eat the seeds
somebody
of
who's
pomegranate, or
not
do you?
going to be named in this podcast.
Oh my god, I
somebody
knew
who's
she was
not
gonna bring this
We're
up.
not gonna bring this up.
that
We're
got
leaving this in
knocked over
2024.
on the sofa and
No,
dropped
it didn't get knocked over.
didn't
It
get
was a
knocked
fully
over.
white sofa, white carpet. He jumped over the couch because he just wanted to not go around like a civilian, like a regular civilian, and he dropped the whole
We're not-
red
I'm not
inky
gonna say who
inky
did it.
pomegranate. Not me. It was
It was not me
somebody
either.
who
It was
starts with a
not
B.
me. It was
Somebody
not,
who starts
it
with a
was
B.
me.
No, who
Started
was
with
it?
B.
Bro? Who was it?
Oh, bro.
This is crazy. We don't know. Bro. I guess I'll never know.
Okay, but can we just pause for a second? Because the thing that is the hottest in the news as far as health is concerned is the weight loss medicines. And as you guys know, I'm on one of them. I'm very open about it. I don't lie about it. I'm not shy about it. And I'm on a very low dose. I'm not on an aggressive dose. But the one thing it has done for me, because this thing is eye opening for me, because Bridge just saying I don't even think about it made me think about it. Many of us, and I think Shalab and our generation, Shalab, we thought about food constantly. Like I until I started taking this medication, the thought of food every day, all day, when at lunch you're thinking about dinner, at dinner you're thinking about next day's breakfast. I don't know what it was about the way we grew up that we just thought about food constantly. And the one thing
Well,
this medication has done for me is put an end to food noise. Now I only think about food when I'm actually approaching hunger or I am hungry.
I think you guys don't give yourselves enough credit, because I think you guys were in your early adult, like, slash growing up in an age where you didn't have as much access to information about food. Social media has obviously changed everything in that regard, as well as this new movement toward plant-based, high protein diets. People are really working on themselves and on this American diet, because it's not sustainable to eat McDonald's, for example, every day. And it's not true that people didn't used to do that. So I think you don't give yourself enough credit. Like, when you guys were my age, drinking large cups of soda was
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah, it
And
was-
like, we
yeah.
grew up in even in elementary and middle school, not that this was like some special part of our school, but they taught us, do not do that, right? Like, that there were taxes on that. And that education, even though it's so little, like, you guys just grew up in a generation that seemed to just not have any understanding or any information about these
I mean,
foods and
Shalab
drinks.
used to drink Coke for breakfast for
Yeah,
years.
for years. At
That's
my
a
first
crazy
job,
thing to
and
think about.
We thought it gave us energy.
Oh
and
my
it did,
god.
because there's 10
Caffeine.
teaspoons of sugar. I mean, I have to make this public, service announcement of how many teaspoons of sugar there is in a can of, any one of these things. And there's 7, 8. I mean, it's not just that though. It's also toothpaste. I have two toothpastes, for example. One is an American toothpaste, and one is a European toothpaste. Something we put
Yeah.
in our mouth every day, two or three times a day. And you know how often you forget to put the cap back on, right? In a toothpaste, you leave the cap out and the toothpaste sitting on the sink. And after several days of sitting there, the American toothpaste became jammed. In other words, you cannot get the toothpaste out because it's
It's
stuck.
hardened.
It's hardens at the top. Whereas the European one that you buy from Switzerland or Italy or any of these organic nations, it doesn't harden, because you can still, because it should not harden. It should not have so many chemicals and sugar in it that it hardens at the top, and the American one does. Somehow I just feel like in this country, in this great nation of ours, we're just running an uphill battle to fight against everything, because we're not a country, we're a business, right? So the business just takes over in a way that is just impossible to live in a
Yeah.
way that you can control your health.
Totally.
Really
Okay.
is really hard.
Anyway, are you done with your second public service announcement of
What
the
was
day?
the first one today?
I don't know. It was something about.
I've never heard somebody measure sugar in teaspoons. It's always grams. Yeah, you want to measure in 7 to 8 teaspoons. That's just interesting.
No, it is measured in Coke. They tell you before we wrap this episode. Your favorite drink, your favorite healthy drink, like that makes you feel like a little
Oh,
touch of luxury.
my morning coffee, my morning latte with almond milk. Oh,
Does it
Okay.
have to be a healthy
Sparkling
drink?
sparkling water, but from
Oh.
Pellegrino only. I cannot have sparkling water from any random can. But so long as it's Perrier or Pellegrino, I just love that.
Okay.
Oh wait, I want to go. My non-healthy, I'm gonna do both. My healthy one is lemon lime Canada Dry, like freezing cold sparkling water,
Yes.
and my non-healthy one is Mango Madness Snapple.
Oh, weird. I thought we weren't doing. All right, fine. But ideally, you can do Mango Madness and cut it with seltzer. At least cut the sugar.
Yeah,
out.
but it's not the
Yeah.
same. It's not the same.
It's the
It's not the
same.
same.
It's the same.
Anybody like who's drinking sugar knows it's not the same. It's not the
Okay, Bridge.
I really like chocolate milk, and I think that chocolate milk is really fun to drink.
So
Not healthy,
milk
but-
with a spoon, but we make it at home, right? Milk
Bridge?
with a spoon of sugar.
Bridge is very matter of fact in this episode. Like, he is always matter of
Yeah.
fact, but I've just noticed that he's
I think
a
the
little-
beard has gone into his head
Yeah,
as well.
Dad. Oh my god, I so agree with that.
Do you want to know my like luxury drink if I could have it?
Yeah.
I already
But
know
it's
it's
so hard to do because I have to do it at home usually. I love drinking hot water with fresh ground ginger and a little bit of
Ooh.
ajwain seeds. Indian people know what ajwain seeds are. In America, they call them carom seeds. You can just buy, it's very cheap. You can buy a whole bag for not a lot of money. But I ground them When I was a child in India, I was told that ajwain slash carom seeds are actually good for digestion. It has no taste. It's almost a little savory, salty. So ginger, ajwain, pepper, and that's it. No tea, no
Is
coffee.
ajwain seeds and chia seeds the same thing?
No, no, it's two different things. Chia seeds, I don't know, is some American contraption. A carom seeds, it's ajwain is an Indian thing. And it's like I love brewing it and drinking it for myself. I sipping it, but I can't get it, of course, anywhere on the road, which is why it's such a luxury and I love doing it. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode of good health, gut health, all things health and food right now in the news, in the popular discourse of just general life. I hope you've enjoyed it. We would love to hear from you what you think about it. And as we end every episode with a round of good grades with Garg, so too we're going to end this round with a round of when each Garg assigns another Garg an A grade for this episode. And who wants to go first?
I want to go first. I think Bridge got an A grade for his rant on how frustrated he feels that people just assume you can just eat some sort of magical pill and then work hard. Obviously, that is so relevant in today's culture. I think a lot of people try and do all these roundabout medications and journaling and whatevering and think that that's going to be some catch-all solution for just getting in the arena and doing the thing and putting yourself out there. Like, it's just nothing can substitute just sitting at your computer and like writing the lines of code, right? Or like doing the math problems or whatever that form of exercise is for you. Nothing can replace that. No food, no wellness trick. So I thought Bridge's point on that matter was really well founded.
Okay.
I'll go next. I'll give mine to. Oh, before I give the grade, we didn't talk about salt much in this episode. I don't know why. It was on my mind. Salt is an equally problematic chemical, just like sugar is. But people don't talk about salt enough. You're not supposed to have more than 1 teaspoon of salt in a whole day, and 1 slice of pizza has 2 teaspoons of salt. Anyway,
Okay, can
but
you assign
anyway,
the
my
grade?
A
Because
grade,
you're
my
like
A
in the
grade
mood
is
for
to
just ramble. We have an episode here. You give an A grade.
my A grade goes to Bridge as well, particularly because of the simplistic approach that he takes with respect to food that I'll eat, whatever. And he practices it too. I see him eat whatever is
Yeah,
on the
he
kitchen counter, he will eat it. Now, to people should know that he works out literally every day and, with massive amounts of cardio and strength. So, he does break it down. I think that not everybody can work out in the, military regimen that he does. But for that simplicity, I have to give that A grade to him.
Okay.
I will give my A grade to Didi
Okay.
because she always finds a way to stay healthy through desserts and anything and keeps it natural, and I like it.
Yeah, I agree. But my A grade also today goes to Bridge because he did point out something very important in that there is a study for everything. We
Yeah.
literally, as a country, have to stop saying to each other, I read a study. Everybody's read a study about everything, which is a topic that Bridge and I have previously talked about, which he brought up today. No, wait, Bridge, you do not need to
He's
thank
on mute, so you can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want. He's literally.
Bridge, who are you assigning your A grade to? Are you putting it in the chat? Because for
He
some
did.
reason,
My
So
A grade
he-
is going to Veer because he does his best to mimic what I do, and I am a great role model, so it's good to do that.
You could have left out the last part. You did not have to put that in.
okay, all right. Bridge assigns his A grade to Veer, and this has been a riveting episode of health and all things health, food, gut, exercise. We're gonna get back to it. There's so much more where this came from. We're so excited you joined us. Thank you for tuning in and tell us everything you think. Tell us your comments, tell us your thoughts, give us your A grades, and most importantly, please like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel so we can grow and we can bring you more episodes every week about how our family thinks. We're inspiring your family to talk about it. Everybody, thank you so much. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.